What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're for a new Madden 23 realistic rebuild where we're taking a team following the 2023 NFL draft, and we're going to try in over a 5-year period to try to bring them a Super Bowl title. And I could be brain farting on maybe another team or two here, but in my opinion, if I'm going off my short list of teams that I wanted to get to after the 2023 draft, we're getting pretty near the bottom of the barrel here, and we're going to take a look at the Seattle Seahawks, who had a very interesting draft. 2 first-round picks, got some exciting players, have an exciting roster, have some question marks at the quarterback spot, but a great story at the quarterback spot. So I am here to see just what we're going to be able to achieve here with Seattle. They got Geno Smith under center. We had an 80 star dev. He is 32. Obviously one of the better stories in the NFL last season. As it relates to a 5-year rebuild, I don't really know if we can count on him being our guy. But maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance that Geno Smith can be our guy. We went ahead, we gave him the same contract extension he got in real life, and let's see if he continues to thrive here in Seattle, making the most of his second chance. We had Kenneth Walker, who's up to an 89 overall, which is an outstanding rating for a second-year player. They got Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA from the draft. Also got Kenny McIntosh out of Georgia, so we get a lot of depth there as we look to replace Rashad Penny, who's moved on to my Philadelphia Eagles. And just of it is like, obviously we know Rashad Penny, immensely talented, just can't stay healthy. That's gonna be pretty fun for my Philly Eagles between Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift. But if you look at the backfield here for the Seattle Seahawks, maybe a little bit of a surprise to get Zach Charbonnet when they did, because they drafted him pretty early, and you'd like to think like, all right, let's just fully commit to Kenneth Walker here. That is a great 1-2 punch. We got Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, my wide receiver 1 from the 2023 NFL draft class. That is, you know, if you're going to go and try to make a run with Geno Smith, you need to surround him with the talent that I believe the Seahawks have tried to do on the offensive side of the ball, especially at the skill position spots. So, I mean, all these guys are very, very dangerous. We got Noah Fant there. He's only 25, so there's still some upside. We got Abe Lucas, Haynes, Brown, Lewis, and Charles Cross on the offensive line. And I'm looking at this, like, we got at least 3 pieces. I think Cross, Lewis, and Lucas all should be here for the full 5 years. Maybe you need to figure out center. Maybe you need to figure out right guard. They also got Bradford. I think he was a 3rd or 4th round pick at LSU at right guard. We got some guys, but it's nice having what I think is 3 of 5 for this full rebuild. We only need to find a center and a guard to really complete our offensive line. And the less time you have to like spend premier draft picks on the offensive line, in my opinion, the just more entertaining it's going to be. On the defensive side, so we got a 3-4 here. They got Draymond Jones, Jaron Reed, and we got Brian Monet. Probably need to do a little bit of damage here in terms of reconstructing and rebuilding on this front 3. I think Draymond Jones signed big money coming over from the Denver Broncos. But outside of that, we're probably going to need to invest here on the defensive line. They got Mike Morris from the Michigan Wolverines in the draft. He's solid as well, but unlikely to start. Rest of the front 7, we got Chenowusu, Jordan Brooks, who they didn't pick up the 5th-year option. I figured to keep it realistic. I also did not pick up the 5th-year option, but I do think I'm going to try to re-sign him. He's 82. 25 years old, 26 years old, 25. So, I mean, that's pretty damn solid, all things considered. He's going to be one of those guys, if we don't re-sign him, he's likely going to be the top middle linebacker available in free agency. So, we're going to see how that plays. The legendary Bobby Wagner has returned on a 1-year deal. And, I mean, beyond that, you're getting a little opportunity here to redevelop Devin Bush. So, I'm kind of thinking, like, if Bobby Wagner retires, maybe we'll have an opportunity to give Devin Bush an opportunity to start here on the defense. We get Derek Hall out of Auburn. We're going to have him start left outside linebacker. He got a hidden dev, 73 overall. Nice pass rusher, a lot of burst, a lot of explosion, type of a player. I think, you pair that with, you got Darrell Taylor, who's solid. Boy Mafe, who's very athletic. We got some interesting names here coming off the edge. Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs at safety. They also got Julian Love coming over from the New York Giants, so we're 3 deep at safety. The secondary, though, is what makes it really, really exciting. Kobe Bryant going into a second year, 74. There might be something there, but the addition of Devin Witherspoon, 77 hidden dev, one of my favorite players, arguably my favorite player from the 2023 draft class. Super exciting. I think stylistically, he is going to hit the ground running. Maybe not Sauce Gardner level, but pretty damn good. I think if he would have came out last year, he probably would have been the second corner out the board after Sauce. That should have went. Obviously, Derek Stingley kind of came out of nowhere there. But like if you're ranking the big board, I think I'm going to want Sauce Witherspoon if they were in the same draft class last season. And then you throw the fact that they got this monster, Tariq Woolen, going into his second season in the NFL, 6'4", 210, superstar dev, 83 overall, coming off, what do you have, 5, 6, 7 interceptions, something crazy like that. Him and Sauce Gardner took the league by storm, just an athletic freak. and I'm excited to see where we can get him back there. I mean, it's a trope when you talk about Seattle when you're in a rebuild, trying to rebuild the Legion of Boom, but you can't help but admire the fact that we throw Devin Witherspoon in here. Between Witherspoon, Woolen, Jamal Adams, and Quandre Diggs, it might be a little bit of a Legion of Boom 2.0. I'm excited to see, in particular, Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon, how those two develop and hopefully dominate over the time of this rebuild. So, without further ado, let's get into year one of this 5-year Seattle Seahawks realistic rebuild and see if we can bring them another Super Bowl title. At the midway point of year one, a little bit underperforming. I think it's fair to say. I think the good news is that there's still a lot of football left to play. We're only 2 games back from first place in the division. No one's really running away with the NFC West, but 3-6 for an 83 overall team. I'd like to think I'd have higher expectations than that. Contracts. We got $68 million. Gonna break it down here. Again, this is an interesting one because Bobby Wagner is obviously a legend, but I feel like we might have a little bit more out of Devin Bush, and Devin Bush is also interested in re-signing. So I think we're gonna make that shift. As much as I respect everything, Bobby, let's just act like he retires, all right? We got Jordan Brooks. It's just going to be, Bobby Wagner's likely going to retire, next year. Versus Devin Bush, who's 25 with a dev trait. Unless, he loses his dev trait this year because he's not playing, which would suck, given the money that we just committed to him. I think that's probably what's best for this team going forward. We'll line up Chenna-Wosu. We got Damian Lewis on the offensive line. Maybe you don't run him into the ground. Give him a 3-year deal. Bump that up there. Just round it up. 5 and 4.5. $38 million for Lewis. That is set and forget. We have Noah Fant at tight end. I think another player we can develop here that's not going to be overly expensive. I'm seeing a guy that has a ceiling of 85, 86, 87, which is more than good enough to be a starting tight end on a Super Bowl caliber team. So we're really able to re-sign everyone. Tough decision on Bobby Wagner, but let's just act like he came back for 1 year. He's going to ride off into the sunset. And we're going to have, probably with the increase in salary cap, probably $40 million to spend on the open market this year. Maybe a little bit of a silver lining here. Late season, we got 2 wins in a row, and Geno Smith has an opportunity to go up to a superstar dev, which at his age, that might be one of the things that can save him. Right now, I'm a little bit worried. We paid him what they got paid in real life, which is like, $75 million roughly over 3 seasons. We need him to be good. And we got a nice dub there, 36-30 over the Commanders. I think that's 3 wins in a row. Wasn't enough, though, for Geno Smith to get up to a superstar dev. Any thoughts on the... I don't think that's necessarily what you want to see. We got the win. No dev trait for Geno Smith, who has got Player of the Week 2 times this season, so he hasn't played terribly. We actually turned it around pretty well. I mean, I said we had a chance. We were only 2 games back at the halfway point of the season, but we won a lot of games here. We got Player of the Week. Chenna-Wosu, 4 sacks. A couple weeks before that, Jordan Brooks got Player of the Week. Geno Smith got Player of the Week during this run. 4 touchdowns there on week 13. And we're able to, kind of like the Seahawks in real life 2022. Just maybe not the most attractive football, but find a way to scratch and claw your way into the postseason, which is exactly what we did. 10-7 runner-up in the NFC West. We get a chance here to go on a run, starting the wild card round against a very, very nice 13-4 Carolina Panthers team. Looking at the stats, big picture, I'm not seeing any of our guys, which is fine. Maybe we went ugly. Geno Smith, 4,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, 14 picks, 66% completion percentage. Pretty solid. Running the ball, we had almost 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns with Kenneth Walker, which is nice. 7 touchdowns for the rookie Zach Charbonnet. Receiving, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns for Metcalf, 11 and 9 for Lockett. Almost 1,000 yards for Jackson Smith and Jig, but that would have been dope to have 3,000-yard receivers for the 3-headed monster that Seattle now has. You know what? We'll almost be generous. That's almost as good as I'm not going to hold 9 yards against him. That's an outstanding rookie season for JSN. And Noah Fant was solid as well. Defensively, Jordan Brooks, over 100 tackles. We got 14.5 sacks, Chenna-Wosu, 6.5 Derek Hall, 6 for Draymond Jones. And interceptions, 2 picks, Devin Witherspoon. Tied for first on the team. Only 1 interception for Tariq Woolen, though. Not gonna lie, a little bit disappointed with that one, but it is what it is. Yearly awards. Jalen Hurts wins the MVP. The NFC looking for some yards. Come on, Seattle Seahawks. What do we got? Chenna-Wosu coming in number 6 in Defensive Rookie of the Year, or Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year runner-up goes to JSN. Losing out to Will Levis in the Atlanta Falcons. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Miles Murphy, with Derek Hall coming in at number 3. Rest of the awards, I don't think we're going to have any award winners here, which is unfortunate, but it was still a solid season making the playoffs. We are a team who, like, given the construction of our roster, needs to be contending for playoffs and going on runs here with, you know, where we're at with Geno Smith's contract. But unfortunately, one and done in here, year one, 42-28. We fall to the Carolina Panthers. Maybe get a little bit of an idea what went wrong. Well, Carolina got 21 points in the second quarter. And there you go. Geno Smith threw 2 picks, and we let Sam freaking Darnold on a secondary that's supposed to be Legion of Boom 2.0. We let Sam Darnold go for 5 touchdowns, no picks. Honestly, almost unacceptable. Personal consolation in year one. Philly went on to win the Super Bowl, which is pretty cool. Surprisingly, against the Titans. Looking at our squad as it relates to dev traits. No one went up or down a dev trait. Charbonnet and JSN both had star. On the defensive side, no dev traits up. Devin Witherspoon was hidden dev. He is a star. Derek Hall was hidden dev. He is a star. Luckily, Devin Bush didn't lose his dev trait because that's kind of how our linebacker core is going to look like. Quandre Diggs did lose a dev trait. He lost his star. All right. Going into free agency, we had a decent amount of money. I was going to be aggressive. Top 2 guys that I would absolutely love to sign. It's realistic. So I know, like, Dexter Lawrence would be perfect. We actually need a nose tackle. Nose tackle is one of my biggest needs. But he obviously signed that big contract in real life with the Giants. Same with Jeff Simmons. Would be perfect for our defensive scheme. But he got paid. Trayvon Diggs used him in a rebuild last week. The only guy that I was kind of thinking about is maybe Christian Wilkins. But, like, could he believably move into nose tackle? Where I'm like, I don't know. Kind of maybe, sort of. And he's 28. What's he looking for? A 3-year deal? Why offer him this 3-year? If I'm first, I mean, how about that? We'll just stay with it. Either if he takes it or he not. Because I think we do need a little bit of love on the defensive line. But I think someone like Jeremy Chin, if we're trying to reconstruct the Legion of Boom, with Quandre Diggs losing his dev trait kind of being on the downturn, like maybe we could transition Diggs back to like a nickel corner. And then we have Jeremy Chin starting safety. We'll make him strong safety or free safety and have Jamal Adams play the other spot. I think that's a really nice, nasty duo back there. We're able to land both of them. Nice. All right, so in the first round here, let's make a decision where we want to go. I think an offensive line. We need a guard. Are we going to want to burn a first-round pick on a guard? Well, I did my homework. We got Justin Pearman, 6'3", 330. Gigantic human being. 3 Bs and an A is a scheme fit for us. Combine, not the best. Like, this guy here looks like he'd be like a 74 normal. We also need a nose tackle, and or like we could shuffle around. Again, I'm not going to say that moving someone like Christian Wilkins 315 in a nose tackle is outside the realm of possibility. So taking a look, I had a defensive end that actually I really liked, and he's already gone off the board. So we're now more so going to look here at defensive tackle, and we've scouted our D tackles. Imani Davis, first, second round talent, 2 Bs and an A. Let's look at the combine there. He is a scheme fit for us. Solid, honestly, pretty solid. What is he? 3'6", 313. We did our homework here on Joe Ruggs. He also looks pretty good. He's a first-round talent. We're probably got to go this way. 318, 320. So, like, already a nose tackle, even though he's not one of those, you know, generated nose tackles that are like 330, 335, that are almost always a safe player. But, I mean, A tackle, B power, B block shed. The combine, we got elite strength, 42 reps on the bench press. Top 5 in the 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. 40-yard dash. I mean, that's not bad for 3. Getting almost a sub-5. Elite acceleration. Yep, we'll go with this guy. I like this guy. Yeah, I really like this guy. I need a guard. I need at this point, the rest of the draft, it looks pretty bad. So I'm going to have to honestly just try to blind pick here the best lineman available. Don't have a lot of information on really any of these players. So we're going to have to try our best here and decipher what is going to be a good one. I'm not seeing anything at right guard. At center, we'll get the double. I mean, this is the last draftable player, Elijah Parker. And a little combine looks pretty bad. Timer is running down. Nervous. I'm about to puke. There's vomit on my... Okay, there's not going to be... It's going to have to be someone here at left guard. Jeremy Franklin, I guess. He has the double Bs. Decent combine. Come on. Yes. Shot in the dark. Pans out. There's our starting right guard next season. All right, looking at our draft recap, and very, very nice. I hated the rest of the draft class. didn't have a lot of information, but the fact we blind picked a 72 hidden dev, now soon to be right guard, is a dub, because that was a spot. I mean, we did have Bradford, who they drafted out of LSU in the 2023 draft class, but no dev trait, so Franklin there. But look at that, Joe Ruggs looks pretty special. 77 hidden dev, run stuffer, scheme fit with our boost, up to 98 strength, 85 acceleration, good mover, very well rounded, solid base. But it did look like a pretty weak draft. I mean, we waited till pick 21, so maybe the top guys, yeah. Wasn't a brutal draft class. Top guys, tight end went first overall. Jamichael McCain. This guy like generation, is he like an X Factor or something? What the fuck? That's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb, a tight end, and he's yay! There's your, Kyle Pitts type guy going first overall. More so, I just want to see how does our guy stack up that we had a shot at. Like, we had no shot. Given our draft board, we got the best player available. 77 hidden dev there. Pretty nice. Ooh, 75 wide receiver in the third round. That was some pretty nice value. Same with that safety. But I'm very happy with this draft class. Good start. And then my point of view number 2, we're 6-6. I'm starting to get the vibes that maybe we're going to need something else than Geno Smith. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll be able to find a way to win with him. I don't know. 6-6 can't write us off just quite yet. But we're just past our late bye week. And looking at our contracts, I think we're probably just going to let most of these guys walk. I'm not really seeing anyone that's integral. I'm not really seeing anyone that's a long-term starter for us. I mean, Diggs was, but he's starting to regress a little bit. And Julian Love is our safety 3. So I think all things considered, we don't really have crazy amount of salary cap space. Even when we get the additional, it's not like we have $80 million. We might as well just have really, really nice depth. We're just going to let these guys walk and make our improvements on the open market in free agency this offseason. We kept grinding, and it's back-to-back seasons of, like, not a sexy record, but finding a way to make the playoffs, which is kind of in the mantra of this team. And while I would like to surpass that and become, like, a dominant squad, in a world where Baker Mayfield and Jacoby Brissett are two of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, it's a weird year. It's a weird time, and count every year we make the playoffs, but look at that, the 30th offense is not ideal. 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns for Geno Smith. I mean, Kenneth Walker's been on point, and Charbonnet back-to-back years with a lot of vultures, a lot of touchdowns, which is fine. I like him being a part of this offense, but Kenneth Walker's been incredible. 1,400 yards, 18 touchdowns. 3,000-yard receivers in Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, which you're very happy to see, especially with, maybe not the best season out of Geno Smith. Your quarterback not playing incredible. Brooks and Bush going over 100 tackles. 15.5 sacks, Chenowosu. 11 from Christian Wilkins. 9.5 Draymond Jones. 4.5 for Derek Hall. 4 and 18 TFLs for our big new shiny defensive tackle, Joe Ruggs, who's hitting to have got build as a star. It's fine. It's more than fine. No, it's a nose tackle. Don't need an X-Factor nose tackle. But what I love seeing is this. Tariq Woolen I think he had, one interception last year, which is not Tariq Woolen, right? I think he's always going to be a ball hawk. 8 interceptions. I love even seeing 3 for Witherspoon. Like, these are the big duo. These are the two guys that, full respect to JSN, but like we already had Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. I wasn't worried about the wide receiver room. I knew those guys were going to play well. The corners, the Legion of Boom 2.0, Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, I want these guys to be absolute studs, and they're definitely, playing like that right now, which is absolutely awesome. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP goes to Josh Allen. And the NFC, look for some Seattle Seahawks here. Ooh, that would have been nice. Ruggs runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Tariq Woolen gets DB of the Year. He's on that superstar. That could be an X factor. That'd be cool to throw into the secondary. But we made the playoffs. Ugly or not, we made the playoffs. We had an opportunity to prove right away that we are actually the best team in the NFC West as we take on the NFC West winners in the 12-5 San Francisco 49ers. Both of our teams are 88 overalls. Should be a very close matchup. Brock Purdy against Geno Smith. And Geno Smith gets the job done. 28-21. I'm going to put some perspective. I was thinking 3 touchdowns. Brock Purdy, no touchdowns. Maybe if they had their 4th quarterback in the game, they would have went on that Super Bowl run. With Jamal Adams getting interception. Nice, kind of an forgotten player in our secondary. Jamal Adams is. Almost like wonder. as we get ready to take on Green Bay. Like, you and I were just playing with house money. I'm happy with that one win. It's progress. But again, also in the scope of Geno Smith, doesn't have many more of these left. We got a very winnable game against an 83 overall Green Bay team. And unfortunately, the number 8 defense in the NFL gives up 35 points as we crash and burn out of the playoffs and miss out on the opportunity to get shit pumped by the Bucs in the NFC Championship game. Justin Fields went off. Our secondary did not show up. And Geno Smith with 2 interceptions. You can't have that during the biggest game of the season. So we had a lot of questions going into this offseason. We're going to be, depending on the quarterback market, probably interested in the quarterbacks. If not, maybe we'll get the draft towards quarterbacks. Because, I don't know, man. I almost feel like what we experience right now in year 2 might be the furthest that Geno Smith can take this team. And then closing, at least the Bucs did win the Super Bowl, falling to the Indianapolis Colts. Super Bowl 59, looking at our roster in closing as relates to depth traits on the offensive side of the ball. We got Kenneth Walker up to a superstar, which, all things considered, he's been our most consistent offensive player. Franklin was a rookie with a hidden dev. He popped as a star. We're going to be going into this offseason looking for a new center, as Brown's going to hit the open market. We're going to be looking for, at least, at worst, competition for Geno Smith. At best, the successor in Geno Smith in his last year of his contract can kind of go into that mentorship role. We're looking for a new center. And on the defensive side, Chenowoshu goes from star to superstar, and Tariq Woolen goes from superstar up to an X-Factor off of 8 interceptions. Don't think anyone went down a dev trade or anything like that. And going into the free agency, the offseason, what I'm looking, I think we can probably say that maybe a slot corner, potentially, at least adding competition if there's a clear upgrade. If not, we can just keep rocking and rolling with Kobe Bryant. I think maybe another pass rusher. Derek Hall's solid, but he was like a mid-round pick, 3rd-round pick. If we can get like a true game changer put on the other side of Chenowoshu, we probably will do so. So we're going to the offseason. We have a couple needs. Center, slot corner, edge. And looking at a free agency, I'm going to go and take a big swing here on a big-time edge rusher. Greg Rousseau, 25 years old, 91 rating. I'm also looking at Caleb Fairley. Definitely fits Legion of Boom, 6'2", with like 95 speed. Bring him in. Come and be our 3rd corner. But the quarterback spot's interesting because there is an interesting quarterback, I think all things considered. Is Mac Jones sitting there, 26 years old, star dev. Maybe getting him a fresh landing spot after the shit show that has been the New England Patriots. But it just, he's expensive. He's looking for $27 million a year. Like, it's barely feasible for us to make that work because we do still have, for another season, the expensive contract of Geno Smith. So, Trey Lance also, could be interesting. But I feel like the way that our roster is kind of designed, it's almost like, okay, take the swing. Will Mac Jones be much better than Geno Smith? You know what? Like, I kind of feel like that's how I'm viewing it. It's like, I'm worried that he'd just kind of be just a younger Geno Smith. He'd be a guy that might be able to bring us to the playoffs, scrappy 9-8 record. But is he truly going to be the guy? What also sucks is I didn't scout the quarterbacks this year. So I don't have a lot of information on the top quarterbacks, and we're not seeing a guy that's like A's all across the board. But taking a look at the top 2 quarterbacks, we have Travis Summers here out of Miami, Ohio, who, can't really tell a whole lot there. He doesn't look the best, but for a top 5 QB, it is what it is. And I'll give respect. I always just like shit on this game for unrealistic schools. I would say at least 7 to 8 times out of 10. Not that bad. Look at the first rounders. Miami, Ohio, Ben Roethlisberger, Boston College. Matt Ryan's been there before, then UCLA. So that's kind of cool. But this guy looks kind of interesting. Jeremy Bean out of Boston College. B deep accuracy, A mid. Now, it doesn't look like a top 5. You already start with the B. You don't love that. But when you look at the physicals, elite strength, elite throw power. It's all about now, like, how do we get this guy? What are the mock drafts saying? Is this guy going 2nd overall? Is this guy falling a little bit? Is it Summers? That's like a unanimous 1st overall pick. There you go. We have Summers going 1st overall there. We'll have to kind of see how the mock drafts go, because if there's going to be like a massive holdup on quarterback, and this top 5 projected quarterbacks going in the teens, I feel like that's with the, I'll just gamble on the lack of information and the elite arm talent, and not having to, we'll see. Obviously, things can change a lot between mock draft 4 and 5. Just kind of see where he's going. But I'd rather go that avenue and go with like Geno Smith as an expensive mentor, have the rookie quarterback on the rookie contract that can develop, versus, you know, paying big time money for Mac Jones, if that all makes sense. So looking at free agency here, looking at our top targets, we are able to land both Greg Rousseau and Caleb Farley. For Greg Rousseau, though, we're going to kick him to edge in our scheme, which is outside linebacker. And he's going to be, I believe it would be left outside linebacker in our scheme. I just want to see what happens to his rating. It goes from a 91 to a 93. Let's go! Mock draft number 4, and our quarterback still in the teens. Whoa, he keeps falling. Now I'm a little bit worried. Now it makes it actually a little bit more interesting. Why is he falling? Because we're likely about to pay and find out. All right, I'm thinking in my head, we're going to need pick 10. That's probably the range. Summers goes off the board. I think that's when we're going to slow this down. If he goes before pick 10, not one mock draft had him going before pick 10. So it's almost like that threshold of like, what pick could he fall to? Like, we'll start here at, Falcons aren't going to get him. We'll go pick 10. You know, are we going to have to give up another first? Probably, man. We're picking, what, at 25? Let's see what the Jags want for pick 10. They're probably going to want, like, Tariq Woolen or something like that. But let's just, out of curiosity, before we suggest an offer, maybe they want something that's like a collection of draft picks. They want a first this year, first next year, and our third next year. Whatever. Take that. If we get our quarterback here, we're not gonna think twice about that trade. All right. Let's see why this guy was falling. Makes no sense. I did my scouting on him. He looks solid. He looks like he's gonna be a good quarterback. The fact, you know, if you give me a guy first round grade, he's not a bust, right? He's not like a guy that, you know, the fact that he kept falling down the mock drafts, like if you would have scouted him, would have been second, third round talent. You almost would have figured. But give me a guy that's a legit first round talent and with elite throw power. I'll take those traits. I'll gamble on that. All right, hidden dev, 97 throw power. I don't know what his base rating is going to be. Like, looking at these stats, I mean, 97 throw power, he's probably going to be like 73, 74, somewhere in that range. I'll take the swing on the hidden dev guy. Honestly, he might be able to beat out Geno during the camp to be our starter in year 3. My next favorite part about this draft was we need a center, and the centers look pretty good this year, fellas. Honestly, we got a couple tough calls here. We have Jamarcus Thomas out of Vandy, has double A's off the rip. And, you know, not a bad combine, but I didn't fully scout him because I thought he was going to be out of our reach. I thought he'd be off the board already. And then we had Wes Cody here, 3 A's in AB, 3rd, 4th round, and he already has a better combine. So that's where we're going to go. Wes Cody, you know, it is what it is, man. Slam dunk after slam dunk. Got to go doing a goddamn and one mixtape of drafts right now. ACCB on a nose tackle. Picture, you know, we got catfish a little bit, but is what it is. Great player. Cordell Hayes, welcome. I should have just recorded before. This guy looked great. He was A-zone coverage, B pursuit, linebacker, 2nd and 3rd round grade. This is a late round 4, so he's falling, much like our quarterback was projected to. He didn't have a linebacker. Look at our draft recap. I mean, just last draft, we got all of our needs, right? Needed a nose tackle, got a nose tackle. This draft, ooh. Okay, not bad. I drafted the kicker, a little bit of a whoosh. Linebacker has a dev trait, but 63, so that's probably why he was flying. Ooh, that's a bet. Still counts, hidden dev, still counts as more valuable. So Hayes, 72, nose tackle, hidden dev, nice. Cody, 72, hidden dev, rookie starting center for us, nice. And Jeremy Bean, the free fall, top 5, 76. I thought, yeah, that's better than expected. 76 overall, not a perfect scheme fit. We go for the improviser, but that's fine. We'll probably just lean into this and go with this big arm talent to maximize JSN. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. 97 throw power. Accuracies are all in the 80s. So very well-rounded. Not much of an athlete, which is fine. I mean, we don't really need that. Don't really rely on him. We have just hand the goddamn ball off to Kenneth Walker. So I think all things considered, I love this pick. I'd rather go, you know what, 4 points off of what we got with Mac Jones. If you would have went with that route, we'll take it. And he's way cheaper. Not only is he way cheaper, once we get Geno Smith's contract out the books, year 4, year 5 of this rebuild, we're going to be able to flex in free agency. That's going to be extra I don't know, $20, $30 million salary cap right there. That's a starter. That's an impact starter. I don't really know how I should handle spoilers, which is already a spoiler within itself. But really happy with our rookie class, we'll say it. And I think we're going to go with Bean as our starting quarterback. Just usher in the new era. Same rating as Geno Smith. Let's just, it's all about that time. It's all about going with the Bean. Isn't that, what is the Bean? Is that something in Seattle? Or is that Chicago? USA Bean tourist thing. Is that Chicago? I feel like that's Chicago. The Bean. Yeah, okay, it's in Chicago. Never mind. Take that back. This would be cool if it was a Bears rebuild. Would have worked better. But anyways, we got a new quarterback, new starting center. Offense looking like it's gonna, take a step forward, hopefully, with the quarterback. On the defensive side, we have the addition of Greg Rousseau, just a casual 93 edge rusher to throw into the mix here. And I think, with Tariq Woolen getting back, showing off in the sim that he can get league-leading interception type numbers, I feel very excited. I mean, if I had to say what I want to happen, what I want to see, I'd love to see, a JSN breakout, DK Metcalf or Kenneth Walker up to an X factor this season. And what I also would want to see would be like a Devin Witherspoon, like players from that 2023 class to really start, taking off with their development. We get a superstar right now for Witherspoon. He's got to finish this rebuild for sure well into the 90s of the overalls, and that's going to be a great 1-2 punch with Tariq Woolen. But expectations here for year 1 of the Bean era, year 3 of our Seahawks rebuild. See what this kid got, man. So we're at the midway point of the season, and spoilers, this doesn't mean anything. Had the dev trade unlocked for our beautiful quarterback, and, it's few and far between that we roll X Factor quarterback. This is probably, we've done, I don't even know how to put it this way, we got to do close to 60, 70 rebuilds. I probably drafted X Factor quarterback 5 times or less. So the fact that this guy here, we had no real scouting on him outside of the fact that he had elite traits. And I guess we did have scouting at the end because we picked him for our 3 final, advanced scouting or whatever you want to call it. But the fact that the most information we went off to make this draft pick was oh shit, he's falling down these mock drafts. He's slipping during the draft. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, we got to change up that ability. Brick wall. I mean, it's not that bad, but also not that good of an ability. I honestly feel like if we're going to stay, in line with the, this guy got 98 throw power, I think. He's gone up throw power, I saw for sure, even with me spending one of his upgrades. So, yeah, he's up to 98. It's either Bazooka, which is clearly the big arm one, or I always feel like Gambit also makes sense because they have increased throw speed. And Gambit's just a little bit better than Bazooka. So, we're going to go Gambit for Jeremy Bean, our X Factor successor to Geno Smith, which is absolutely awesome. We still don't have the dev trade unveiled for our center there, which is fine. But he's playing well for a rookie. We do not have, we have a good team, but we don't have a super team, and we're 4-3 with a rookie quarterback. Usually, rookie quarterbacks do struggle at the gate. I suppose we will open this breakout scenario because it looks like a winnable matchup against Houston, but more so as an X Factor. That'd be a nice XP game. The one thing going against him is, yes, he's an X Factor quarterback, but he's 78. Doesn't even have his X Factor ability ready to go. I think he needs to be 80 for that to happen. So if we can get a nice little chunk of XP here in victory, that'd be pretty cool. Take a look at our contracts. First up, we have Kenneth Walker, which I really wish he was super interested in coming back. So we're gonna overpay because he's been the most consistent player in this rebuild. We have DK Metcalf. We'll throw him a 4-year deal, not worry about it. Again, this is why we don't pay the money for Mac Jones. If we paid for Mac Jones, we would not be able to just at will keep all of our good players. We'd have to make some tough decisions. But luckily, don't have to do that. We'll go down here. Abe Lucas. Let's give him 3 years. Remainder of the rebuild. Very affordable right tackle. A lot of upside. Michael Dix. We'll pay the freaking punter for the remainder of the rebuild. Why not? Get that Migos going. Why not? Get money. We got Tyler Lockett. Let's keep that trio together as long as we can. Still $66 million. Might have to make a tough call here on Draymond Jones. Hasn't been the shits for us. What are his numbers? Is he getting at least 7 sacks for a 3-4 defensive end? If you're getting 7, last year was a step back, but 2024 wasn't too bad. 2023, and at this point, I don't know. I feel like we might be able to just get a bet. Christian Wilkins is a run defender. Draymond Jones is a little bit more of a pass rusher. So we don't need that anymore. Chenawosu and Greg Rousseau are our pass rush. We need guys that can be run defenders. Maybe we can. Also, the same sentence, same breath. He's probably going to be the best defensive end available on the open market. But let's stop beating around the bush. Tariq Woolen, give him very player friendly. He can't go anywhere. He's integral to this team. And we'll wait and see. We'll see what Draymond Jones can kind of finish out this season. And if he earns himself a contract, if he gets, again, 6-7 sacks. I'll say right now, if he gets 7 sacks, I'll re-sign him. So our first year of a brand new quarterback, we win the division. 10-7. It was close again. It's always been close. 10-7, good enough for us. Got to go the gauntlet, though. 89 overall against the 88 overall Philadelphia Eagles. I want to see how our quarterback played. I obviously, playbooks are playbooks, right? You take a mid quarterback and a great quarterback, put them in the same playbook. The numbers are usually aren't going to be night and day different, and like that's kind of what we got with Jeremy Bean for his rookie season. 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, 12 picks, which is kind of in line with what we got with Geno Smith. But hopefully that's like his floor. And we can get closer to that 40 touchdown mark when all is said and done. Kenneth Walker, incredible. 1,400 yards, 18 touchdowns. On the receiving end, would have loved to see, 3,000 yard receivers again. But we almost had 4, technically. One big game off for Lockett and Fant for both having over 1,000. But 1,010 for JSN, 11 and 13 for DK Metcalf. On the defensive side, Jordan Brooks, bunch of tackles. On the sacks front, 13 sacks, 17 TFLs from Greg Rousseau, paying immediate dividends. 10 sacks for Chenawosu, 8 from Christian Wilkins. And I said I needed 7 for Draymond, and he got 6. I got to stick to my word. We'll see, at least see what's on the open market. Lots of interceptions again for Tariq Woolen. Love seeing that. 4 picks for him on 76 tackles. And just like that, we went from the 30th offense overall in terms of yards to almost top 10. Which is definitely the kind of progression you want to see. In the NFC Outs play, there goes Cooper Kupp, Nick Bosa, offensive rookie, there goes Sam Grant. 2 great quarterbacks meeting in the first round of the playoffs. That's kind of cool. What's the guy's name? I'll say that guy last name is Beaver. But yeah, Eagles quarterback is looking pretty good. Greg Rousseau is linebacker there. He's on a star dev, so that should hopefully boost him up to a superstar, which is only going to make that contract we gave him that much better. And I guess you could also make the argument that that was our free agency. We either could have just committed to Mac Jones, paid the money there, and really not pay and not bring in Greg Rousseau. But we decided to go with Rousseau and a rookie quarterback. And I mean, that couldn't have gone any better. But in a matchup between the 2 best rookie quarterbacks in the NFL, Philly's QB and our QB, shit. That's fine. We still got 2 more years. We got 2 more years and a lot of salary cap to make this team and put them over the edge. And in the season, give a nice little upgrade for Greg Rousseau, who is now a superstar dev for getting linebacker of the year. So congrats to him doing the damn thing and really helping put all this team together here. Let's take a look at our devs. Philly loses the Super Bowl to the Pittsburgh Steelers in all Pennsylvania matchup as we look at the dev traits. And for our team, what? There is no way he loses his dev trait. What? 1,400 yards, 18 touchdowns. Not you're going in the wrong direction, boss. He went up to superstar with that number. The robbery. Thought he could have got X Factor. Fucking what? Brutal. On the defensive side, Haynes is super interesting. Okay. Is he going to be a starter? This guy's 83. That's a little bit too big of a jump to make. For the rest of the dev traits, though, Chenawosu up to an X factor, but it almost what? I mean, okay, Kenneth Walker's almost a 99. Like the dev trait is for XP for the most part, right? But there's also the ability side of things. Like this guy needs to shoot. He's not bad enough to not have any abilities whatsoever. What a fucking robbery. Oh, that would have, that's just overkill. Even though the interest is there. Do we though? Do we? Right? But do we though? We have so much money. I'm going after John Franklin Myers. Might not even get him. And I'm not super worried about defensive end because we do have those, even though they're kind of nose tackles, we could technically move because like Dex Lawrence was classified as a defensive end. He was 330 pounds. We could move that superstar. Even though he's only 74, he's still a superstar. We got 2 years left. Could kick him out the defensive end. I kind of just want to. At least throw an offer out. We'll throw a player-friendly offer. He takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't take it, he doesn't. But if he does, Sauce Gardner, Devin Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, kind of awesome. Kind of awesome, right? And if he doesn't, you know, whatever. It's not the end of the world. Let's see. Let's go. So we did have a first round pick. We went in the second round, and I got the 220-pound safety that ran a 4.49. Legally rolls a dev trait. The reason why I also wanted to do this is obviously it's second round, so we kind of just had to go BPA, and we lucked out that he was a hidden dev player. But I think moving someone like Jeremy Chin to our sub linebacker, even Jamal Adams, because Devin Bush is kind of Devin Bush. So at least if we have a third safety that can play safety when they shift out to linebacker, I think that opens up our defense a little bit. So happy we land this pick. And, for not having a first-round pick, getting 2 players in the 70s, not that bad. I'll take it. Because also going to just fact, our draft class this year was an X-Factor quarterback last year. Going into year 4, here's a quick look at where our Seattle Seahawks are looking. And let's be honest, everything as is, it should just still be a superstar there for Kenneth Walker, but he's down to a star. But, I mean, we're ready to rock and roll here. No real weakness. I mean, the offensive line's still developing on the right-hand side. Cody and Franklin. I mean, all these guys have yet to hit their ceilings, so they're only going to get better. I don't really think anybody outside of probably Tyler Lockett is going to face any form of regression from the here on out in this rebuild. So I guess that's pretty good, and I'm just excited to see what year 2 of Jeremy Bean brings, because we've kind of seen the baseline of what a quarterback can do in the Seahawks offense, and I want to see if, maybe, an 8X factor quarterback with almost 99 throw power, can he break through that glass ceiling of 32, 33 touchdowns? Can we get a little bit more? So the skill positions are in place for him to do so. But also, I mean, Kenneth Walker's been putting up almost 20 touchdowns a year. Maybe there's only so many touchdowns that go around. So if that's the case, is what it is. Just, again, sucks that he lost the dev trait. On the defensive side, well, we went out and invested here a little bit. First round pick, or highest pick, was a safety on the defensive side of the ball. Gives us a little bit of flexibility there. If we want to bring Jeremy Chin likely into that sub linebacker spot with Jordan Brooks, and we can have Hannah there play at safety. We have John Franklin Myers, who joined via free agency. Great scheme fit for that front 3, and I'm obviously just kind of going with the overkill, and this is more so, again, to pile on the fact that we're playing with a rookie quarterback contract. I don't just want to not spend that money. So if Sauce Gardner ever became available, why not pair him with, the running mate from that draft class as to, who's going to be the top dog corner? We got 2 X factors there. We got Devin Witherspoon, so he's going to be a huge part of this defense as well. And I just think, you're looking at this right now, we have the best secondary. It's a trope, I guess, a little bit if you're doing a Madden 23 Seahawks rebuild or Seahawks franchise of, I want to make the Legion of Boom again. Well, that's just what we did. That is exactly what we did. We got our, we got our safeties here. I mean, we don't really have our Cam Chancellor, but, we got our safety. We got our Richard Sherman. We got our Brandon Browner. You know what I'm saying? We're good. We're ready to rock and roll here in year 4. Let's see it. Awesome. Undefeated. And not only undefeated, we got the Chiefs victory. 7-0 for our 92 overall, and it's kind of almost look like a super team, which I'm proud. I'm proud to be able to build this because most of it has been through the draft, or at least what we've done through the draft has allowed us to be aggressive in free agency. So look at what we got. We got $38 million. Not a lot of crazy cap room, but this is really all we need to spend. Charles Cross for sure. Lock him up. He's been very solid, and I think Christian Wilkins, obviously at his age, that's kind of the price point where maybe you want to dip off. But I mean, he's been good. He's been getting 8-9 sacks a year for a 3-4 defensive end. That's really our third pass rusher on the team behind Greg Rousseau and Chenowusu. Outstanding numbers. So we're not gonna have a whole lot of money. Probably. We're going to look at this. We're probably going to have to, hope in that first round that we can get a linebacker to replace Devin Bush. But our team's so stacked right now, I'm not really worried about it. We go 15-2, and we're the 2 seed. I'm not that pissed. Well, I'm a little bit pissed because the Eagles just beat us. But if there's going to be any other team, I'll be honest. You know, I'm not even going to throw bias in there. If there's going to be any other team, if it's not, because we're in the NFC, if it's not Tampa, I'm not going to be super heated, but that's so annoying. Oh, that's so annoying. What a season here. Kenneth Walker, third leading rusher. Give him his goddamn respect right now. Love it. Jeremy Bean broke through that glass ceiling, man. 39 touchdowns this season. Love seeing that. Kenneth Walker just on a fucking tear. Steal his depth. Steal. His depth trait was stolen from him. And he comes out. I mean, he's been, on the offensive side, he has been the best player in this rebuild. JSN has a little bit of breakout year. Really weird numbers here across the board. But, I mean, the touchdowns look good. 11 touchdowns. DK is solid. 10 touchdowns. Noah Fant. But, hey, JSN's eaten 1,300 yards. 8 touchdowns for him in the slot. Defensively, Jordan Brooks over 100 tackles. We got John Franklin Myers leading the team. 15.5 sacks. Didn't see that coming. 10 sacks, Greg Rousseau. 8 from Joe Ruggs. 6.5, Christian Wilkins. And we got 3 picks, Woolen. 3 picks, Jeremy Chin. Sauce Gardner only the 1. But, actually, I really do want to see what our passing defense is. It better be fucking top 5. MVP goes to Josh Allen. Man, our quarterback can't get any respect here. For some Seahawks. Hey, we got lineman of the year, Jeremy Franklin. We drafted him. Nice. That is likely going to be a superstar depth for him on the offensive line. If we don't have a top 10 passing defense, fucking throw it in the trash. Oh, yeah. Top 10, exactly. Top 3 offense, number 1 rushing offense, top 5 defense, number 7, don't be one and done. This team is very good. Very, very, very good. This has to be a window that needs to be capitalized on. Like NFC Championship or bust. We don't even make this. Fuck me, man. Fuck! Get over the hurdle here, fellas. Fucking Justin. Okay, great. That's awesome. Overpowered quarterback Justin Herbert on an overpowered team, the Falcons playbook. Cool. So even though we built a super team, it's the Rams, 3rd place in the division, that gets the Super Bowl first. This is shaping out to be bad because this team needs to win a Super Bowl. This team is more than good enough to win one. As it relates to depth traits, well, Franklin got lineman of the year. He's up to superstar. Noah Fant up to superstar. JSN up to superstar. And Kenneth Walker up to a superstar with no depth traits going down, which is very, very nice. In terms of our, we got to, what we're losing, we're going to have to replace Charbonnet as our RB2, which RB2 does eat in our scheme, so maybe we'll have to draft one sooner than later in that draft. On the defensive side, John Franklin Myers goes from superstar to an X Factor. We did lose the X Factor on Sauce Gardner. He actually kind of had a disappointing season. We lost the X Factor on Chenowusu, but yeah, I mean, I'll still take a superstar there. Jeremy Chin goes from star up to a superstar. Again, we're good. We're ready to go. Really nothing we need in free agency. We got a nice little cap. I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's keep Charbonnet here. He's part of that first draft class. He's been a solid RB2, almost good for double-digit touchdowns every year. And let's just go to the draft, get BPA, get a linebacker. Hopefully that is BPA, and win this Super Bowl year 5. All right, for our first pick, kind of just, put ourselves into a little bit of a box here, having to go with the top linebacker. And there's only one first-round linebacker left. That is Sharif Williams at A&M. We have B tackle. That's all we know. Combine looks decent. Not the best. Hey, kind of surprising. Take that. And then our next BP actually turned out to be pretty freaking awesome. Earl Dillard. Nice little hidden dev tight end who's a good athlete, and he had a catching. That's why I made the pick. Don't even need one because we have Noah Fant. But it's final draft. This is where you just try to flex how well you could draft a little bit in the video. All right, take a look at our final draft recap headline with 2 hidden devs right off the rip. Sharif Williams kind of just fell into our lap. 74 hidden dev linebacker who is, going to likely start this season. Great athlete. Seems sideline to sideline. Love that 84 hit power. Might get a couple forced fumbles. And Dillard, what a pick. 78 hidden dev tight end. Let's go. Yeah, again, you can't go wrong when the guy's the fastest tight end at the combine and at a catching. 86 as a rookie. And we got a couple 70s here a little bit late. Drafted very well. I want to see, is Dillard the best player in the draft? Did we finish this with the best player in this draft as well? Dunk! Slam dunk! Shack attack! Year 5, here is our final team, which I think it's almost fair to call it a super team. No weakness whatsoever. X Factor quarterback, Kenny Walker, Metcalf, JSN, Tyler Lockett's still here. Cross Lewis, Cody Franklin. Let's see. All right, already on the team. Drafted, already on the team. Stuck most of, like, the fact that what we didn't sign anything too ridiculous. We didn't sign anything. All these guys are homegrown on the offensive side of the ball and or drafted, which is pat myself on the back. Pat ourselves on the back. Defense, a little bit of a different story, but you got to spend your money somewhere. And we still have, while there's the mercenaries, Wilkins, Franklin Myers, Sauce Gardner, Jeremy Chin, Greg Rousseau, we still got Brooks, Chenowusu, drafted Ruggs, Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, Jamal Adams. We have a good mix here. And I think all in all, we've done this rebuild the right way. This team is truly outstanding, and it will be very disappointing if we can't walk away here at the dying moment, final year, without a Super Bowl victory. And in year 5, wasn't 15-2, but I'll take 12-5 and an NFC West. I believe that's our 3rd NFC West title in 5 years, at least 2nd. My pretty shit memory right now, but we will take it. Our team is a 95 overall. It stacks up just against any other team we've rebuilt this year. In terms of steps, Jeremy Bean, solid. Clearly Seattle's not going to be a playbook where your quarterback's going to win the MVP because, it just is what it is. We have the wide receivers for him to get 50 touchdowns, but we do like to commit to the run. And anytime you have almost 30 rushing touchdowns in a season, your quarterback's not going to go for 50. Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. I'm giving game ball on the offensive side of the ball to Kenneth Walker. He has been incredibly consistent throughout, which is awesome, considering I got a signed Kenny Walker jersey. Love that. JSN came on late. Last 2 years, he has really dominated the wide receiver room. 114 catches, 1,400 yards, 8 tutties. We had 11-11 for DK, 700 yards there. And obviously, Tyler Lockett at this point, getting up there in age, more of a role player. On the defensive side, Jordan Brooks over 100 tackles. We got 14 sacks Wilkins, 11 Rousseau, 11 John Franklin Myers, and 6 from Joe Ruggs. 4 picks Jordan Brooks leading the team. A little bit of a down year. And again, for whatever reason, man, we just could never get Sauce Gardner to get a lot of turnovers. Yearly awards, MVP goes to that piece of shit in Philly. And I don't think we've made it. Again, it's just we have so much rushing touchdowns. I guess Beans never made the short list for MVP, even though I thought he's been close a couple times. For the actual awards here. Anything for the Seahawks? All right, I guess fuck us then. Best team in the league. Back-to-back years, I think. Most talented roster. And no awards. So we got Detroit in the first round of the playoffs. Should be winnable. Absolutely winnable. 42-17. Flex in our mind. We got the Eagles rematch. Okay. They just beat the Bucs. I'm a little bit worried. But Jerry B's playing his best football. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns in this game. Got to give him the respect. We won it because of him. I imagine, what was it, JSN probably? Over 100 yards, Kenneth Walker. JSN had a big game. Noah Fant had a nice game. And on the defensive side, a couple sacks there. Nothing crazy. Aiden Hudson. Doing it. Sarah, we got Philly. Nice rematch here. They've seemingly had one of the best quarterbacks in the league since we've drafted our X Factor. But they're not stronger than us. And that's a shootout. That's an instant classic right there. 35-33, we get this one over the line to put us into the NFC Championship game in a battle of 2 outstanding quarterbacks. They both played pretty well, except ours actually had 2 picks. We won almost despite our quarterback. Luckily, they got a 57-yard rushing touchdown from Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay. That's usually the kind of shit you see when you lose a game. How did we lose this? Oh, they just had a gadget play somehow that went off. Tyler Lockett, we literally might have disrespected him a little bit, saying that he was a role player. Reminds everyone, he's still him. 9 catches, 134 yards. In pretty much every metric, the Eagles were the better team. Except when it mattered, which is the score. And with that, we have punched our ticket to the NFC Championship game, where we are going to hop right in and watch it. But before we do this, it's a good point right now, because if we lose in the playoffs, we'll probably get really pissed off. Let's look at our stats throughout this rebuild. Who has done what for this squad? And look at the career stats. Jeremy Bean through 3 seasons. 1,300 yards, 13,000 yards, 107 touchdowns, 35 picks. We got almost 9,000 yards rushing, 88 touchdowns for Kenneth Walker, who's been awesome. 2,047 touchdowns for Zach Charbonnet. Tyler Lockett, almost 12,000 yards receiving, 81 touchdowns, 9,600 yards, 92 touchdowns for DK, 6,700 yards, 50 touchdowns for Noe Fant, and 5,800 yards, 40 touchdowns for JSN, who has definitely, picked up the pace here a little bit. I mean, on pace right now, he hasn't played as much to be a little bit further ahead, yardage-wise at least, of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. On the defensive side, Jordan Brooks and Jamal Adams both going over 1,000 tackles. We got 71 sacks. Rousseau did a lot of that with us. Same with Chenuosu. No real homegrown pass rushers. 17 picks, Tariq Woolen. 14, Sauce Gardner. 11, Jamal Adams. Witherspoon only finished with 8. I guess a little bit disappointing out of Witherspoon, I guess. But, I mean, he's still developed nicely. He's a 90 overall at the corner spot for the Legion of Boom 2.0. But everything now needs to shift towards this NFC Championship matchup as the 12-5 Seattle Seahawks take on the 14-3 Washington Commanders. It's the 4th-ranked offense against the 3rd-ranked offense. It's the 6th-ranked defense against the number 1 ranked defense. But at the end of the day, and the only thing that should matter, my fucking 95 overall super team should be able to beat a team that we are 10 overall points better. On the road, who cares? Like, probably one of the worst home field advantages in the league is the Commanders. This stadium's going to be probably 75% Seahawk fans anyways. So let's handle business, man. It's low scoring, and I mean, low scoring, we have the better defense, so that's what it's going to take. I'll trust our defense to get this one done, but for also how good we have a 95 offense. My 95 offense has 6 points going into the 4th quarter with the Super Bowl on the line. Luckily, we were able to get the first touchdown, back-to-back tutties, full momentum shift there late in the 4th quarter, and we killed the game off. Very unspectacular of a championship game, needs to be said. But Bean was efficient with the football. 81% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns on 200 yards. Jackson Smith and Jigba had a hell of a game, 10 catches, over 100 yards. And I don't care how the sausage is made. Ugly or not, we are going to the Super Bowl. That was our goal. The Super Bowl has been set. It is Jacksonville who have stolen away Jalen Carter from the Philadelphia Eagles. A little bit more competitive. They're an 88 overall, but again, no team matches up to our Seahawks super team. Let's go win this Super Bowl. And I almost want to, I'm going to put it right now before we see any score, before we start panicking, even if we start to run away. At some point in this, I'm going to need to come in with my 99 throw power quarterback and throw a bomb to DK Metcalf. Be it running the score up or a needed touchdown for us to give them a little kick in the ass. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. So Jacksonville gets the first touchdown of the game. That's coming right now. 3rd and 3. It's not going to be necessarily like a 90-yard bomb, but they're calling verts right away. They know that that's what we want. Where's DK? They're not pressing him at the top. We got the squiggly lines. Like I give a shit. We're going to DK. Oh, okay. We'll draw the PI on the 1. Not what we're looking for, though. We're looking for that endorphin rush. So we're going to accept this. I'm going to let my team get the touchdown here. And we'll come back in another time. Jacksonville going down the field. Get a field goal. 3rd down for us. We've struggled a little bit on 3rd down. 2-minute drill to get some points. No points for us to close out the half. A couple opportunities as well. Our offense we're missing some throws here. Come on, dude. This is not, what the fuck? It's not looking great. All right, we're going to do this one. Cross and drag, whatever. And I'm going to send DKD. And is what we're going to go for. Squiggly lines. How do we have squiggly lines in the Super Bowl? We needed 98 yards from my fucking X-Factor quarterback. What do we got here, Jegs? Generational defense? I know that's not true because mine is. I have a generational defense. Fuck's sakes. All right, let's try this one again, DK. They're not pressing. We're not getting that look that I really want. But we got him. Actually, honestly, made that harder than it should have been. Had to make him jump. Couldn't hit that in stride. Well, that will be my 1 touchdown. Can we find a way to get the ball back and go win this fucking thing? Let's see. They punt it. Minute 33. I'll come in for this one. I don't think I'm going to get a touchdown. We have no timeouts. Sakes. Then DK deep again. That's our only play. We only have, this is going to be it. We got him. Boom! Yeah! Let's go! Pink slips, baby. I almost wish we didn't do the one before that. And I'm very, very annoyed that it's taken me to pretty much take this final sim over for us to win this Super Bowl. My team should have won this one outright. But it's the right ending. It would have been very bad taste in our mouth. The fact that we've had arguably the best team in the NFL for the last 3 seasons. And we've had no playoff success. To finish this one without it, it needed to. It needed to happen. It needed to freaking happen. Full kudos for the Jags taking us to the limit. Like that meme about the Jag. I don't like it. Taking it to... That was awesome. You guys ever seen that? Go like Google Jags superfan crazy lady or something like that. It was awesome. But there we go, man. I don't feel like it's not... I don't feel amazing because I pretty much had to win this Super Bowl. I would have loved the team just to win it within the sim. But again, it's the right ending that needed to happen for this rebuild. And, you know, Geno Smith walked so Bean could run. And that's what we got. So that being said, fellas, let me know in the comment section below what rebuild you want to see next here in Madden 23. We're obviously, you know, at the tail end of Madden 23 anyway, so I will be honest, I have been exploring maybe like some retro content to kind of just close out the year. Don't know how I'm going to present it yet. Don't know how I'm going to work it out yet, but I mean, that's kind of where we're getting, because we're obviously the actual rebuilds, the fallout from the 2023 NFL rebuilds are wrapping up here a little bit. So there's still teams you want to see. I know Atlanta. I think Atlanta has been a popular team that people want to see, obviously, with Bijan Robinson. So we'll get that one done. But there's any other ones that like I'm sleeping on, I'm missing on right now, let me know in the comment section below. And I also just would leave the little teaser that like I have kind of been working. It's gone a little bit slower because I obviously have to wait on people that are making mods and stuff like that. But I am, I'm exploring some retro stuff that we could bring to the channel. Kind of close this one out. Which would be pretty fun. But that will do for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, special like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love ya. Have a good weekend.